is our take. This is Mark the moderator.
Banks.com, the game is the game always.
AV the process. I ain't even shouting to nobody right now, man.
So, all right. So, okay. So, Banks, you said that this is their last hurrah. This is their hanging on point. This is how you see it. Tell me why.
Because think about it. Everything else they lost. Everything else they lost. Who was the greatest baseball player before black people started playing the game? Babe Ruth. We all, for the most part, I know this number. Maybe not Avery. I'm sure Mark does. Everybody knows 714 because that was the number of Babe Ruth's home run record. Hank Aaron, RIP to Hank Aaron, was getting death threats. People were threatening his life because he was going to break a baseball record. Break a baseball record. That's what they were doing. So they don't have the greatest baseball player anymore. Greatest basketball player. That was over in like the 30s. You know what I'm saying? And football, every other position, greatest wide receiver, greatest linebacker. Maybe they have greatest offensive lineman. Nobody really cares about that, though. You know what I'm saying? So this is their last little piece of greatness that they can hold on to, that they think, we do this better than other people. And we're proving them wrong at that too. It's been proven when you give black people a chance, they do it better than you too. So they're scared, and they don't. This is why they're going to overhype things like this. Now, granted, I'm not going to take anything away from Tom Brady because 7 rings is a hell of an accomplishment. But like you said, it's a team sport. And also, like you said, if this is a black man, I don't necessarily know if he'd be getting the same amount of praise. They probably spread the praise more around, like, a great offensive lineman, blah, 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 all this other stuff.
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say that I believe, in all honesty, so no, the quarterback position isn't going anywhere. Y'all ever notice that they always propel the white quarterback over every black quarterback?
Justin Herbert?
In the NFL draft, that always happens. They always get more chances. That always happens. I just read, if I got it right, Josh McCown got a head coaching job interview. Come on, don't get me started now.
He did.
Oh my God. So that's what I'm saying. They are still going to put who they need to put in certain positions in order for them to be the majority.
Real quick, Mitch Trubisky got drafted over Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes. That's all you got to say.
Oh my God.
That's all you got to say right there.
And that's the thing. So now here we are, 2020, right? You still got Lamar Jackson being killed because they say he can't throw. You still got Deshaun Watson being killed because they say, oh, he doesn't care about the organization, right? You still got people like RG3, who typically would have gotten another shot had he been white. You know what I mean? He wouldn't have to settle for a backup. You still got the Jameis Winston, who threw for all those yards, yeah, albeit a lot of interceptions, right? But still put up numbers that if his counterpart that is white put up would have had a starting job in the NFL. You have all those parameters. They're going to keep that in play. There's got to be a great white hope. And look, it's not a knock to white people, but that is just part of the privilege that they have. There's always got to be a great white hope, always. And there always will be.
Let me say it. And y'all are both correct. They have to have the great white hope. They have to have that next Messiah coming. Justin Herbert just won the offensive rookie of the year, the Roy. Um, Incredibly, like I said, not that he had a bad year, but you had a couple guys that to me had spectacular seasons. But again, when you look at what we look at and what we see, it gets unpacked a certain way. And I keep saying it, we are very passive when it comes to this thing called equity and it comes to equality. We're very passive when it comes to sports. And we don't look at the measuring stick as being equal. And
Right.
and I think that has to change. We have to take a different stance going forward because it should be. And if it's not going to be, we need to call it out when we see it.
And you know what though? Yeah, we need to call it out, but we also, I think what it has to be, man, and I keep saying this, man, as in with every other um, occupation. We got to be put in these places, right? So how do we get in these places? We got to start breaking down barriers, man. And I think it's coming to that. And Bruce Arians made a point of saying that about his staff being diverse. You know, Byron Leftwich, if he was white, would he have gotten a head coaching job already? Like, let's think about would he have at least got an interview? He didn't even get an interview. So these things exist. We have to continue to break down the barriers. Rome wasn't built in a day. Nothing was built overnight. But we got to continue to break down these barriers because we have to start forcing them to make those decisions. You know what I mean? And who's going to be brave enough, as the white and the privileged are, to make those decisions to put us in those places, whether it be head coaches, whether it be quarterback and the face of your football team. Because you know, we talk about passion all the time. We talk about when a black guy yells, he's not a good teammate. When a white guy yells, he's passionate. You know, we talk about that all the time. Tom Brady been in many of guys' faces, and it's that's the great Tom Brady. But you know what I mean?
Baker was black, what would the story be?
Oh my God!
Or his histrionics. What would the story be if Baker was black? It's crazy. You know, even you know, like you said, we have to continue to break down barriers. Who was Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen were all drafted ahead of the NFL MVP. You know what I mean? And again, we just have to continue to show success. Sadly, it has to be like this, where we have to be put in this position that we have to show and prove. But you know, now everybody's out there looking for the next Lamar Jackson. You know, and this is why I want to see Eric Bieniemy. I want to see him get a job. I want to see him succeed. I want Eric Bieniemy, wherever he goes, hopefully not Dallas, to win nine Super Bowls, man. That's what I want to see. I want them to see that, you know, black excellence is a thing. And, you know, you can't just keep hiring these retreads and these people who's the dude that Atlanta hired from Tennessee?
Nobody knows him.
I don't even know the guy.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, the Eagles. Who the hell did they hire? You know what I mean? It's all these people that are getting chances. You mean to tell me in the sport there's 75% black people? There's no young outstanding coaches. There's no young outstanding coordinators. There's no young outstanding special teams coordinators out there that deserve a shot. And
no, there is.
Just the retreads and I know there is. It's a sarcastic question, Mark. It was rhetorical. I didn't necessarily need you to answer that, but yeah, it's just it's sticking in, and you know, hopefully we can start to see change. Like Avery said, nothing is built in a day, but this has been going on for far too long, and we have to see some sort of change. And being NFL owners are only the 1% of the country.
A little bit sidebar. Yo, I'm gonna need Deshaun Watson to hold out if Houston plays games. I'm gonna need him to hold out. We're gonna see how it turns out, but I'm gonna need him to hold out because we gotta start making.
I don't think that's a question.
You think?
I don't think that's a question. I think the fact that he's not returning the phone calls from the organization, nobody can't get a hold of him, says all they need to say right there. And Houston is terrible, man. That's a whole other
Houston is terrible.
No doubt.
Yeah, man. There's listen, when your star wide receiver that used to play for your organization that hasn't tweeted in 2 years comes out and returns to Twitter to make a point to bash the organization, that says a lot right there. Yeah, and things are coming out all over the place that's not a real nice place to play.
I'm gonna give it another few years for us to again keep that prominence there, to keep to maybe change the narrative with the HBCUs and to start funneling and to continue to funnel more young blacks to playing football and playing that position and playing it the way that we can play it based off of how we play football and changing that narrative. And I think that's going to force the NFL to have to make that decision at some point.
Okay.
It's going to force them.
I don't think it's going to force them to do anything, man, because you know what's crazy? Like in the short span of time that the season ended to now, the regular season ended to now, look at the narrative of change on Eric Bieniemy. It went from there's no way that he doesn't get a job to like he's going to get passed over, and he did get passed over during this run again. You know, a team that's made it to the Super Bowl the last 2 years has an assistant coach that's smart, bright, young. He cannot get a job. When people are hiring high school coaches and whoever I don't even know who some of these guys are. People that you've never heard of before who've had one good year. The Tennessee offensive coordinator has a couple good years with one of the best backs in the league, and he gets hired. and Eric Bieniemy doesn't get the credit that he deserves for making Patrick Mahomes into the quarterback that he is and the success of that team. It's shocking. So I don't know if anything's really going to change. Like I was saying, NFL owners are part of the 1%, the rich elite, and they want to see people that look like them run their organization. So it has to be somebody has to break through and have. And it always has to been like this. It's like, somebody has to break through and have this tremendous amount of success for them to see like, oh, okay, well, we can do things differently. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right. Yo, y'all, this is our take, man. This is a conversation. We'll be right back. Peace.
Peace.
This is our take. 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 This is our take.